Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another wonderful episode of A Link to the Past, Randomizer League Season 3. We are getting ready for week number 4. This is fcoughlin versus AceZer0 here. Both of these teams are members of the Kakariko Division in the Light World Conference. And this is going to be a very fast race because if you have not seen a key sanity spoiler log race, you're in for a treat. I am one of your commentators tonight. I am Bandman25. I am joined tonight here in the booth by Esper Hub. How you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you very much for having me here today.
Yeah, right now, both these teams, Fred Coughlin here, he represents the Bomb Squad. Bomb Squad is 3-3 right now. They are sitting with 9 points, currently in 5th place here in the division. And we are imposters. You're going to see AceZer0 tonight. They are currently 2-4 in their division, 6 points and in 6th place. Just one win difference between these two teams. And we are getting underway here in the sanctuary with both teams and just finding ourselves a big 20. And if you've not already seen already, right now we do have since this is a spoiler log seed, if you look on your tracker right now, we've already got ourselves all the pennants and all of our crystals in the tracker. If we look there right now, you can see that our green pennant is at Desert Palace, while our 5-6 crystals is Tower of Hera and Pod.
Yeah, depending on what they're reading gone through from the spoiler log, you'll see them route a little bit differently, but otherwise, this is just pure execution here.
Yes, it is. And right now, it looks like we're getting a houlihan from both rooms, so that could either mean we might be making our way on over to seeing King Zora there, the wonderful scam artist, or we're going to need that money to make sure that we go to Pod early there, being a 5-6 crystal. So, and they're coming out. Looks like they are both making their way up. Nope, looks like Fred's making his way to the castle, while AceZer0 making his way toward Kakariko.
We probably picked up like a few hints of where some of the key items would be at, so more likely they're going to go for that to buy some time while the pilot finished parsing through the rest of the spoiler log, which is why they went to houlihan first, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and right there on Fred's side, we find the hammer at the uncle. That's our first attack weapon here in this race. Unlike the past couple weeks where we've already had our assured sword, this one, we don't get a sword. We got to go find them somewhere. So now that we have an attack item, we can make our way through our dungeons here.
Yeah, hammer is not only a good, useful tool to get to and from certain key areas, it's also very good as an offensive tool, as it does tempered sword damage to allow to take enemies out pretty quickly.
And it looks like we are going here into Chicken Hut, while Fred getting himself and tried to get the nice little bomb drop. Unfortunately, did not get what he needed. Oh, a Book of Medora. That's a very interesting find, especially this early in the race. So does that mean we're going to Desert for that green pennant, or are we going to need it a little bit later there for those pendants or for those tablets?
Yep. With the book, I feel like their pilot has probably picked up that book is going to be required. It may be needed for the tablets, like you said, but I feel like an early desert play wouldn't be too far from the mark here. We just need to see if they need boots.
Yeah, and right there, we just found our first sword there in the tavern. And it looks like another key there for Pod. We're finding the red cane there in the back of the well. Definitely a great find this early. And there is Fred picking up his book while AceZer0 making his way here into Blind's hideout here. Right now, as Esper made mention, we are helped out here by pilots on both these runners here. Ooh, there's our second sword and a bottle. Right now with AceZer0, he's being piloted by Waterloo. And right now, Fred, he's being piloted by Synac. So this is basically what happens is right as this race started, we got ourselves the spoiler log. Fred and AceZer0 making their way through the game while their pilots are trying to figure out where they need to check out, where all our items are at here. This early part of the game is probably the most stressful for our pilots because they're looking for those key items that we need to get through this game. We have not only just the items to get through the dungeons, but we got to make sure that we find those keys to make sure that we can get through them.
That's correct. There's no point in going into a dungeon if you don't have the necessary keys to clear them. More likely than not, they'll probably try to find their key items in the overworld, which will allow them to have like a lot more options opened up to them. And then from there, most likely they'll be hunting for a little bit more keys to finish off one dungeon at a time. Or if the seed is very fortunate enough, can just make it all conveniently routed into one good route.
Yeah, and right now it's kind of interesting what we have so far. We got a couple keys for Pod, and we got a key for Skull Woods. So it'd be interesting to see what we find in those dungeons.
Yeah, but before we can even get to those two dungeons, we still need to get Moon Pearl and at the very least Dark World access, which is either Titan's Mitt, Moon Pearl, or Hammer, Gloves, and Moon Pearl, or basically getting Moon Pearl, Lantern, and beating Akina.
And right there, AceZer0 does pick up his hammer from the uncle. And it looks like Fred is going to make his way here into the Lost Woods, someplace that AceZer0 did not pick up. Oh, he's picking up the lamp. So no dark rooms on Fred's side.
He might... while Lantern's pretty good in lighting up dark rooms, it's also very good to use economically if you're doing a silverless Ganon fight.
And it looks like AceZer0 making his way to the desert place, so he's going to take that book here into desert. It'll be interesting to see what we find there.
Seems like if that's the case, boots may not be required to finish all of desert, or at the very least get to see what items that we can get from there in desert.
And it looks like we're going to get a quick stop before making our way here in Agena, before making our way to desert here. While Fred making his way here into Mini Moldorm Cave here. Oh, we find ourselves a hook shot.
Yeah, I was going to say, it smells like progression if you're going headfirst into the Agena Cave right here instead of Desert Palace, which is...
Yeah, and speaking of that, that's what AceZer0 just found. He found that first glove there in Agena's Cave, and he said nope, so he's going to head out. Only thing he's missing now for his Dark World access is that Moon Pearl. So then that Moon Pearl, hopefully that's not buried too deep here.
If I was piloting Zero right now, I'm probably directing him towards that Moon Pearl as we speak. Or at the very least, giving him the opportunity to get to this hook shot, which I'm going to assume with the hook shot, that at least allow you access to go into the east side of Death Mountain, since they have the gloves already.
Yeah, you're absolutely right on that. And on Fred's side with that lamp, that really does. If we were playing the game normally, that would put our Death Mountain into logic because we did have that lamp. We haven't found that flute yet, so. And it looks like we did find. I thought I saw a Swamp Palace key, I believe, but I could be wrong. And it looks like Fred's going to make his way up the mountain, just like what you called there, Esper Hub. See what we got up here.
Yeah, if my prediction is correct on this one, I would like to think that Paradox Cave has something for here that allows us to get into Dark World.
And it looks like AceZer0 also going to pick up his lamp, so no dark rooms for him either. Fred here picks up the old man. And while we kind of got a few seconds here downtime, give you a little history of these two runners right now here in the league. Fred and AceZer0, both these runners are 2-1 here in the league so far. And looks like old man gives us the big key of Misery Mire. But back to these two runners. Fred, he lost week 1 in the co-op week but he won his week 2 and week 3 matchup. And with AceZer0, like I say as well, he was 2-1. He split both of the co-op week 1 races and took week 2 off and actually won his race during week 3. So that puts us where these two runners are. Both of them are 2-1 here in the league. Both of them going here for their 3rd victory here in the league. Fred needs to be careful here with only 1 heart, but it shouldn't worry too much about enemies up here.
Yeah, with the Master Sword, it shouldn't be too hard to do with the mini Muldrums that's coming up. Plus, in the top floor of Paradise Cave, there should be 2 more hearts, so he should be topped off just fine before entering in there.
And the item that he needed here in Paradise Cave, not in the lower level, so up here in the upper level, here with the mini Muldrums, we got ourselves just some cash. Oh, and the Moon Pearl, so there's our Dark World access. Definitely a great find. So, and with those 2 pod keys, oh, and that's a fire rod? Did I read that right? I couldn't tell on my screen. Was that a fire rod or an ice rod?
Oh, that's an ice rod.
Was that? Yeah, it was an ice rod.
I'm running a little bit behind you, but yeah, that is an ice rod. Turtle Rock is required to clear the game, so it's good to get that out the way as soon as possible. Good thing, thank goodness it's not on pedestal, as they would call it.
Well, not yet anyways. But then again, our pendant layout, there's really not a whole lot to be there. I mean, with Swan Palace as a pendant, yeah, I'm pretty sure Ped's probably dead.
Yeah, Ped's definitely dead, because the only, like you said, the only item that could be like isolated out from the chain of dungeons in order to get access and to clear would be Ice Rod. Now, if Misery Mire was a crystal too, we could count in Flute, but outside of that, that's just about it.
Yeah, and Fred taking himself there in intentional death here to make sure that he can get through Tower Hair with 3 hearts. Even though with these guys, I'm sure both these runners are very well versatile here in a low percent race. And it looks like Fred is line himself up here with the hair pot. Gonna use the bomb strats to get into it.
There is several ways to do this, and each of them all lead to like the same outcome. You need to move yourself in a certain way to clip into the pot here and to fall into for the hook shot.
And right now, Fred just bypassing all of our chests here, going straight into Face Trolldorm here. Gonna give us here our first crystal and even a 5-6 crystal at that. Just need 3 spins here of the Master Sword. And, oh, he must have got a poke in there, that first one. So we got our Rage strats here, Muldrum. And just like that, just a tad bit over 12 minutes here, Fred Coughlin earns his team his very first crystal. Oh, and a Tempered Sword. Very nice. Oh, Fred almost saved and quit out after picking up that Tempered Sword, but realized, oh no, that is a crystal. We need to pick that up.
Yeah, that's something that kind of just was probably like reflex memory, like on reflex. But it is good to know that they were going up to here just to get that. I had a feeling like if they were skipping all these chests, then the boss was the only thing needed, and it had something important for them, and Tempered Sword was one of them, so that's good. As we see AceZer0 doing the hammer strats to deal with Mini Mort, and being very, very effective in it, as taken out with no problem whatsoever.
And right there, just a tad bit underneath 13 minutes, we are tied back up here, 1 crystal apiece. Fred Coughlin now making his way here into the back of Escape here, getting these 3 chests behind the bombs. And we get ourselves Magic Powder, a key to Turtle Rock, and a heart piece. A very interesting find with that powder. Will he use it to go straight to Magic Bat, or he just... Well, actually, I would guess that he got that for Magic Bat. As good as Fred is and as good as Ace is, I can't imagine that they just picked that up just for the safety.
Yeah, exactly. Like, Bat probably is required somewhere along the line, so they need to route that in and before to do that. Of course, they need to get the powder. I like that their pilot is kind of organizing a way to route all these in while they go through the motions of getting to and from certain places.
Yeah, and if you had noticed there as well, Fred Coughlin did pick up his that heart piece there in his in Link's house. Got a full heart container and got a new heart container, filled up his health now at 4 hearts. And if I remember right there in Spiral Cave, I believe that was a small key to
Dark Palace.
Oh no, okay, so another pod.
So I would like to think that Fred's pilot has probably missed that at some point, but even if that's the case, it's not a huge loss, so to say. You most likely need 4 or 3 keys to get through pod. If you like skipped on a few locked doors that way, which is very possible with the stuff that they got. They just need the bow, however, to finish going through it.
And speaking of bow, there it is. There is our first bow there at Magic Bat. And AceZer0 does now use that portal south of Link's house, making his way up to pod and those 3 keys. And it looks like Fred's going to do the same thing. Going to make his way here into the Dark World. This is kind of interesting here. I mean, granted, Ace does not have the powder yet, but looks like he's going to go into pod and go as far as he can. So, got to be a really important item here.
I would like to think that there's Portnime in here as well as the crystal, but I would like to think that if he does not have the bow with him, he's going to do the potion glitch in the bow locked room.
And there's another pod key there in Hype Cave. So that kind of puts him back on par. Finds our big key to Thieves Town. So that pretty much opens Thieves Town completely for us. Having the big key, hopefully there's nothing there in the big chest of Thieves Town. And yeah, there's AceZer0 making his way now into pod with those 3 keys. And it looks like he's going to go straight to the vanilla big key chest. And what we got here? We got ourselves the magic mirror in vanilla big key chest and pod. So very interesting find here in pod. Gives us a lot of access in and around the world here.
More likely than not, he's going to finish it up by going into Staffel's room to go into basement because he only has 1 key left and he needs that to go to the rest to finish the rest of this dungeon. Well, at least to finish the dungeon, but I could be completely wrong here. There could be another key here.
That is true. We could find another key here in pod, but it looks like he's gonna hammer Yump here. Gonna make his way into Dark Maze to save that key. Or never mind, he's already used his 3 keys.
Yeah, he has already used his 3 keys. He just needs to hammer up. More likely the big key is in here somewhere, because otherwise there's no...
Okay, that was our second bow. There's
Wow.
Our silver arrows there in pod, in the Dark Maze of pod. So, and flippers there in the Dark Maze. Talk about a loaded Dark Maze. Holy cow. And unfortunately, without the big key and another key to get into the basement, pod cannot be completed. And unfortunately, Fred is kind of in the same way as well. He does not have that pod big key yet. So even though he does have the bow, he will not be able to finish.
If that's the case, this sounds like a double dip that's required for pod to begin with the giving layout how the seed is giving us the keys and so on forth. Our pilots must have picked up on that and decided go ahead and get these big items first, go ahead and get out of there, and then get the rest later on.
Yeah, and right there, Fred actually coming down to the basement, picking up some cash and a heart container before he makes his way here in the Dark Maze to pick up those flippers and his silver arrows. While AceZer0 now, he's picking up his big key into Thieves Town, as well as his 4th key into pod. And Fred gets his hammer jump. Gonna now pick up his silver arrows.
So we're seeing a little back and forth here as far as execution-wise goes. We saw Fred being a little bit ahead, and now we see Ace being a bit ahead as far as the routing goes. So, seemed like a very good, close, and consistent race so far.
Yes, it is. And here on the floating island, we got ourselves a small key. Ooh, to Swamp Palace. So that now puts Swamp Palace completely clearable. The only scary thing is, though, that is a pendant. So hopefully we won't have to go very far here into pod. And one thing Chad is pointing out, Fred did not pick up the mirror there in pod. He totally skipped that vanilla big key chest and pod where that mirror was at. So
I think he's running back to correct that error just like right now. That is a huge oopsie daisy that probably was not like intent. That was not intentional at all.
But my only question is, though, does he have a key left, though? Because I believe he used all 3 keys. We'll have to look here in a minute.
We'll have to look.
When he gets back here into pod, I'm not sure if he picked up that 4th key or not.
He did hammer you up, so I'm pretty sure he saved 1 key at least.
Yeah, it looks like AceZer0 now making his way into Swamp Palace here. Hopefully this is not a dungeon. We got it clear.
More likely than not, if they had to pick up the key that was in Hyrule Lake, more likely than not, it's either some in West Side Swamp Palace or the boss itself having something that they really need to finish the rest of the game with.
Yeah, now that Fred's now here back into pod, he does have 1 key left, so he is going to be able to pick up that mirror. So even though it was a small mistake here, that is going to cost him probably about an extra minute here in the race. But as good as these guys are on execution on running, I'm sure Fred can make up that time lost. Still really early here in the race. And there is the magic mirror on Fred's side. He nopes out, does a save and quit, going to the sanctuary here.
His pilot probably has something else in mind instead of going into swamp immediately.
Yeah, in the direction that he's going, he could be checking out here Thieves Town, because that is fully clearable, other than us not having the small key on that. But he can fully clear as long as there's nothing there in the big key chest. AceZer0 continuing to make his way here through Swamp Palace here. And here in, I believe this is the compass chest, and that is our Titansmiths. So just like that, we now have our second glove here. Here in Swamp Palace. Yeah, that was the compass chest, and uh-oh, he's going farther back. Oh, I hope this is not one where they got to finish.
And even if that's the case, they do have tempered swords, so fighting that boss shouldn't be too much of a trifling problem to deal with.
And you've never seen this before. That on AceZer0's side was diver down. One of at least 2 ways that I know you can do it. Basically what you're kind of doing there, if you've never seen it before, basically he's kind of cramming himself between that Cane of Samaria block and that wall, and you can jump off of it and it realizes that you're not in the water no more. It's just a regular floor. So AceZer0, he's bypassing everything. He's making his way all the way back into Argus.
Yep, something's definitely on boss, so more like not, it's progression, or it could be Fire Rod. I could be entirely wrong in that guess, though.
Well, as far as they're going, I'm just hoping it's something good here, like that Fire Rod, or even our Quake Medallion. That'd be nice to find at this time, or even the Flute. Flute would be great to find. And Fred now making his way here into Thieves Town. Oh, well, it can't be the Fire Rod, because there's our Fire Rod in the big key chest of Thieves Town. And Fred now making his way back to the back, not even bothered checking any more chests. And AceZer0 doing a great job here on his Argus fight. Got the puffs down. There's 1 spin. And there's 2 spins with that tempered sword. And what has Argus got for us? The big key to, oh, big key to Turtle Rock. Oh, very nice find there. So even though we do got a blue pennant, I'm pretty sure it's probably safe to say at this point with both these runners, pod is not going to be required, but we will need that big key though for Turtle Rock. So kind of a rude place for that Turtle Rock big key. They're all the way back on Argus.
Well, pod is also a crystal too, correct?
Pod is a crystal. Yes, it is. Pod is our other 5/6 crystal of this match. And right now, both of our runners do have the Tower of Hair, which was our other 5/6. So
something tells me they got to go through a long winning route to get to, at the very least, the big key for a pod in order to finish that. That may be the second to last dungeon.
And right there in K45, AceZer0 finds himself the big key to Eastern Palace. So we can chalk that off the board from another big key that we need. Looks like he's also going to do some great routing here, going up to Stumpy here. And gets ourselves a small key to Turtle Rock. Looks like Turtle Rock could be on the horizon here sooner than we could have imagined. So, and AceZer0, he nopes out.
More likely than not, if that is the case, our pilots are looking for a way to get in, which is Quake was required. So I like to think all the steps that they're taking now, especially getting the big key to Desert Palace, means that something is in Desert Palace right now that is required, and that's probably the boss. I like to think Quake is on that boss.
Not the worst place in the world we can find our Quake medallion. And it looks like that AceZer0 now going to make his way into back of Escape. Wow. Looks like Fred now going to be completing Thieves Town. Nothing in that big key or the big chest there in Thieves Town. So that is a great thing. To answer Chad's question, who are the pilots for the bomb squad? Fred, he's being piloted by Synac. And then AceZer0, he's being piloted by Waterloo.
Yeah, so far the pilots are doing a great job guiding our racers to getting the constant progression going, keep that consistent pace going to finish some of these dungeons up. As we see Fred getting to the last part of the line, and if I'm not mistaken, finishing off in a good, convincing manner.
Oh, and we just found our big key to Ganon's Tower. So it looks like no guessing game today in Ganon's Tower. Definitely a great thing to find. So here, just under 27 minutes. That now gives Fred Coughlin his second crystal of the match. While he currently leads AceZer0 2-1, I'm sure that will change fairly quickly. While AceZer0 making his way into Dark Death Mountain.
Something obviously must be in Super Money Hop Cave for him doing this the long way around, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's doing it just to get up to Turtle Rock.
Yeah, Fred picking himself up there, a nice heart container, and AceZer0 bypassing Super Bunny. So nothing important there. So the way he's going right now, he is making his way possibly to Hookshot Cave, which something could be important there. 4 checks, plus with that mirror, you can check the floating island. Fred now here at Cave 45, going to pick up his big key. And another big key found. Oh, there's the Ice Palace big key. Oh, boy. That's going to be interesting because the Ice Palace being one of those dungeons where we don't need really the big key to complete the dungeon unless there's something there in the big key chest.
Yep, they're always picking up something that has a purpose, so I would like to think that's the case. It's worth also noting that while these runners are going through the paces as to the race to the sea to get these key items, they're always constantly feeding information back and forth with their pilots, asking where is the next thing that they'll go, or is there something along the way that I can pick up as well while I'm at it. And that is pretty vital as far as like these races goes. It's like on top of execution, you got to make sure you communicate with your pilot, or your pilot communicates with you well enough to figure out the best route to get to and from and to finish the seed off.
Fred needs to be careful here, trying to get to the floating island. Gets there just in case, just in time to avoid that bomb there. Picks up his Swamp Palace small key. So that's probably going to be for Fred's next place. So here we are. We are just shy of a half hour in our race. And as fast as this race is going, make sure you give these runners a follow here. Both Fred Coughlin and AceZer0, give them a follow if you have not already done so. Also give their teammates a follow as well. Synac and Adirondack Rick here on the bomb squad. And we are imposters. You got AceZer0, Waterlow, and Hitsin. Give them all a follow. All 6 of these runners have done amazing jobs here so far, not only in this tournament, but in all the others as well. Please give a follow to my CoCom S for Hub. Give a follow to our tracker, Kono Tyron. Give him a follow. He's doing a great job, definitely keeping us on track here. So give them all a good follow here.
And it looks like here both of our racers are just overlapping each other at this point. So we probably won't see anything new until they clear them.
Yeah, AceZer0 there picking up his fire rod here, going straight down to the back just to go pick up the maiden, go take down blind. Really not a whole lot available here in Thievestown. While here in Swamp Palace, we found our glove here, there in the compass chest there, which is just south of the big key or the big chest.
Something I'm curious about. We're 30 minutes in and we have yet to find a location of where the Boot's at. I wonder if Boots is in Ganon's Tower at this point.
Oh, now you're just being mean, man. Come on, Boots in Ganon's Tower? Oh, I hope not. Oh man, that'd be mean.
It'll be rough, but it seems with how the pace that these 2 runners are going, it feels like it probably won't be that huge of an issue. But I've had moments where I have seen a seed where the Ocarina was in Ganon's Tower, or any other kind of convenient item that you can use be in Ganon's Tower at this point.
Yeah, because at this point right now, being 31 minutes into the game, looking at all our crystals here, we really do not need a whole lot to be in go mode right now. The only thing we really need right now is just the Quake Medallion and possibly Boots. Everything else we need for go mode. So I mean, Grant, we're not there yet, but we can beat every dungeon. So except for getting to Turtle Rock. So you never know with the way the seats are. We might actually see Boots in GT, but man, that'd be mean. And right there, Fred Coughlin does pick up his Titan's mitts.
And while he does that, AceZer0 is going to get his maiden and going to go ahead and finish the rest of this dungeon. But yeah, it's like if I was a pilot running a sea, I will always try to look for like where will the booth be at the very first few minutes or so, just to get an idea of where they could be at, so we can trim time down even faster. And that's if it's not happening in under 3 minutes, 30 minutes, it's probably meaning that they're way far out than the route suggests that will be efficient enough to get them.
Now AceZer0, now he is into his blind fight. There's the first phase of blind, 2 more to go. Just need a grand total of 9 hits, and there is phase number 2. Doing a great job of keeping the blind here on script here. 1, 2, and 3, just like that. There goes blind on AceZer0 side, just over 33 minutes. So that now gives him his second crystal. And if we kind of put these guys on leveling right now, they are probably roughly a minute difference between these 2 runners. And the biggest difference so far in this race was just that very small mistake that Fred made for getting that mirror in pod on his first trip in here. But it's still a very, very, very close race. And just like that, down goes Argus. And Fred picks up his big key to Turtle Rock, does pick up the blue pendant, and it looks like AceZer0 picked up the Breadsmith here. So, interesting find what we got here. So what does our blacksmith have for us today?
I just noticed they picked up the big key to Misery Mire. Blacksmith chain may have either Quake or Flute.
No, that has our butter sword. Holy cow. So there you go. We've got all 4 swords here. For the game, it's kind of rare with both these runners picking up the sword, that 4th sword. Usually only tempered sword is about as far as you get, but if it's right there, you might as well go for it. And now it looks like Ace, you're going to pick up his silver arrows.
I'm wondering if there's something on purple chest then, if that's the case. Oh, it doesn't seem like that's the case, as AceZer0 has saved and quit. So more like than not, that was just a top off and getting more power going on.
Yeah, and if you look at both these runners so far, right now we are looking at 6 hearts on AceZer0 side on Green Mail, 7 hearts on Fred Coughlin. No armor yet, really no safeties here for these runners yet. They do have a bottle, but I don't remember exactly what was in it. I think it was a potion, but I don't remember what color it was. And AceZer0 now going to make his way into Ice Palace, while Fred giving us the back of Skull Woods. So we've definitely seen 2 different places here, new places for us to see here in this race. Is this just a boss rush here on AceZer0? Are we actually looking here something else here in Ice Palace? If you had to take a guess, what do you think might be here in Ice Palace?
Well, Quake would be the obvious answer to go for, but I'm starting to think that maybe there's something in Spike Cave, so I probably wouldn't be surprised if Cape or the Cane of Brian being in here to help mitigate the damage in order to get through Spike Cave to get the item that they need. But, you know, that's just a hunch, though. We're not going to go delve too hard into it.
You know, I thought you were being a little bit earlier when you said that the boots would be in GT, but right now Chad is talking about the pod big key on the ped.
Ooh.
I think that actually might be worse than boots being in GT. Man. Oh, it looks like here on AceZer0 side, gonna be doing the icebreaker glitch here. Wow, it does it very quickly, while Fred Coughlin taking on Moth, getting him down fairly quickly. Just under 37 minutes, that gives us our 3rd crystal and 100 rupees there off Mothula. So that's item number 1 here in Skull Woods. Is he going to go? Is there another one here that might be worth some value here in Skull Woods? Oh, there's our Cane of Burna there on AceZer0 side that you had mentioned there, Hub.
Yeah, if he picked it up then, something must be in Spike Cave in order for him to just grab that right there.
Ooh, nice little rail slide there on AceZer0 side. Picks up a big key. Ooh, the big key to Desert Palace. Now that's another pendant dungeon. Uh-oh. Is that possible now, that being our 2nd pendant there? And oh, there's our boots. Boots in Ice Palace. So there you go. Thank goodness that nightmare is over. Or no, that wasn't the boots. That was our flute. Never mind.
Boots can still be anywhere, but
that's true. I mean, here it is. It's only almost 8 o'clock my time, and my eyes are deceiving me. That was the flute, not the boots. I wasn't even. It sort of rhymes, I guess. And it looks like gonna make our way here into Cold Stare. 8 fire rod shots there, but with this butter sword, that's gonna be nothing here.
And the quick work of Cold Stare.
Amazing fight there. Just under 38.5 minutes. That now gives AceZer0 his 3rd crystal of the match. Oh, there's our Quake medallion there in Pinball Room of Skull Woods. So that now puts Turtle Rock and Misery Mire on the table.
that is the case, I would like to think that Ace is probably going to make a beeline to Skull Woods now to finish that off. And then once he gets that item, he's going to go ahead into Misery Mire because it sounds like Pet is going to be a play after all.
Oh, man. As fast as the seed was going, man, I was thinking this was going to be a jet seed, so I didn't think we'd have to worry about pedestal, but find that big key to desert now. We've already completed Swamp Palace for that pendant. We're almost two-thirds the way there if we need that ped.
Need a seed. The seed will find a way.
That is true. And looks like Fred now going to hop in here into Turtle Rock. Very interesting play. Being this early, there's got to be something here important.
Or if not, well, besides something important, knocking that crystal out is a good idea to do. Especially if Pod is going to be the last dungeon and they may have to do in order to finish progressing through to finish the seed. So I like to think that there's obviously something here, but what could it be?
Right there, AceZer0 now, he did activate his flute, and now he's making his way into the Dark World now. Being where he's at, he's probably going to go into Skull Woods. Going to pick up that Quake Medallion, so he's one item closer there to that go mode. The reason why we're not calling it true go mode yet is just don't know if we need those boots quite yet. Oh, the bug net. Bug net in. Hookshot Cave with the big key there into Ice Palace.
Zero went through here already, so this is no big surprise. But yeah, if they're getting big keys to go into the pendant dungeons to finish the bosses off, there has to be this is a clear sign that pedestal mate is definitely a thing that needs to be investigated.
And there's AceZer0 picking up his Quake Medallion. Wow, looks like Fred now making his way into Ice Palace there.
Yeah, a little bit more overlapping from the two runners again, which is fine by all means because they kind of did the diversions. It's just now the key matter is who's going to do what faster there compared to their counterpart runner.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see where these runners are going to come together. Right now, as tight as they are, it's just really hard to say who's kind of in the lead here.
I feel like it's going to be very apparent the moment we see like who's going into Ganon Tower first.
Yeah, I mean, Fred did go up there to Turtle Rock. He did open up Turtle Rock, but he did not go in it.
Probably prepping up to enter in it the second time around. He's probably going to try his best to loop Turtle Rock in as the last dungeon to finish.
Yeah, which would definitely make a good thing right now. And it looks like Fred now going to take on the wonderful Icebreaker glitch. If I could explain it, I would, but all I know is somehow they extend the doorway by about a pixel, and you move around a little bit with that red cane, and that gets you through. But I cannot get technical with it because it still confuses the heck out of me. So, and just like that, AceZer0 now takes down Mothula. That gives him his fourth crystal of the match.
Interesting, he skipped that chest. Wait, what was in that chest again? The chest that Fred passed up. Wasn't that a big key to somewhere?
He just picked up his flute right there in the big chest here. I believe that was the Cane of Burna is what he passed up.
So if that's the case, I wonder if Cane of Burna is just not required.
It could be just one of those items there that we could just need it for safety there because you never know. I mean, when will we need it? The nice thing as well is also an attack item as well. So AceZer0 giving us a new look here. We have not yet seen Desert Palace takes the back door into it. Depending on what's on the torch here. Oh, wait, never mind. I'm thinking of normal mode here, and Fred needs to be careful here. One heart here at Cole's there on green mail. There's 2 puffs down, and there's our third poop. Ooh, and there's our boots. Oh, boots in the big key chest of Desert Palace, and just like that, AceZer0 nopes out while at the exact same time, Fred picks up his 4th crystal there in Ice Palace. Did not get to see where that key was for that was found there on the desert ledge.
Fuel source Ganon's Tower. So that's 1 key down. They just need another one, and they're good to go.
So we are now on the run here on AceZer0's side. That now officially puts him in go mode at just around 44 minutes here. So we got everything we need now. It's just a boss rush. I mean, we probably still need a couple keys here and there. But other than that, we still needed the big key to pod. And I believe that's really about it. So right now we're in go mode with item-wise. We're not quite in go mode with key-wise because we still need that big key into pod. And who the heck knows where that is other than our pilots.
It's kind of interesting because once he found the boots and left out of there, I thought he would do the boss for Desert Palace as well, but it doesn't seem like that's the case. Could it be that pedestal is not required?
And here is AceZer0 now making his way into Misery Mire. Finds us another small key here into Turtle Rock. Well, it looks like Fred is going to go into Misery Mire first. Not going to go pick up his boots there in Desert. But he really can because he does not yet have the big key to get in the big key chest there of Desert. So
I think that's what he passed up in Ice Palace because that's where the exact... No, wait, no, that was Brianna. What else was there?
There was the flute in Ice Palace, the cane of Burna, and that's it. That was all there was in there.
Right. I wonder if chat, you may be able to may have a better memory than I would. Where was the big key for Eastern?
Yeah, there in Misery Mire, found ourselves the shovel, so that kind of gives us another one-off location. Nothing better than finding ourselves a fetch quest here this late into a match. And he's going, AceZer0 making his way there straight to that dig spot. And what do we have here in the shovel spot? We have ourselves a big key to Dark Palace. So there we go. There's our pod big key, and there it is. There is our official go mode at 47.5 minutes in this race. AceZer0, first one to make his way into go mode. Now it is just a boss rush from here on out.
More likely or not, they're gonna, once they go through the bosses, I think it's, yeah, I was gonna say, I think it's possible to steal a key if that's the case. But yeah. May the dead rest in peace, for it's not the time to pull it today.
Yeah, I haven't looked that far here into the spoiler log. I've been kind of looking at it here and there, but I've been trying to keep my eye out of it. So, and it looks like that's where Fred is now making his way into the shovel spot. Going to get that big key into pod. So he's probably roughly, say, a minute behind of AceZer0 here in this race. All we got left here is we need to clear pod. Got to clear Eastern. Nice combo right there. And then just Turtle Rock is all we got left here. Don't really need to pick up any keys here along the way. Oh, one thing Chad is pointing out, AceZer0 does not have a key. Oh, he is 1 key short. So he's gonna come to a sudden dead end right as he goes down these stairs. He's gonna realize he cannot go any farther. Oh, that's gonna make up some extra time for Fred here to catch up from that mistake he made a little bit earlier. Ooh. And there's another key there for Fred's side, so that's where he's going next. Unfortunately, AceZer0 going to come to the realization here that he cannot go any farther, and he realizes what he's done and going to have to mirror out. Oof. So now the question is where is he going to get that next key at for Pod now? Is he going to, looks like he's mirroring out, and he's going to go into Eastern for right now. So hopefully there's a Pod key in here, or he's going to have to mirror, or not mirror, he's going to have to flute all the way to there to 8 and make his way into Ice Rod Cave.
Hopefully the pilot is not panicking trying to look for that key.
Right now, he's making his way through Eastern Palace here, not really having to check any chests here. He's got everything he could possibly need except for that small key into Pod. And it's probably easy to say that since he's not picking up any chests, that key is not here in Eastern Palace.
Abby made a good point, as I stated before in this run, is that communication between runner and pilot is very important. Just this is one of those moments where just because you got gold mode item doesn't mean that you're still not short, still may have like a key left out or two. Always gotta ask and tell where the key is at, or at the very least confirm that they had picked up the key and whatnot. So yeah, this is definitely a huge small hindsight for definitely a hindsight for really imposters, but hopefully the time lost on this one won't be that huge to get back on their feet.
Yeah, now here AceZer0 taking on a very, very quick almost knife fight with those silver arrows. Unfortunately, just gets the map to Ganon's Tower for his trouble. That is his 5th crystal of the race, while Fred is now making his way into King Helmasaur in Pod. So from here, we just got we got to find a key here. I believe we know where both of them are at. There was one there on the guy in Hype Cave, and there's also one here in Ice Rod Cave, and that's exactly where Ace is going. He's going up here into the Ice Rod Cave and now pick up his last key that he needs to finish up Pod. So it's going to be interesting to see what kind of swing that we had here because of this one small mistake here. And now Fred taking on King Helmasaur, 17 hits to the mask with that hammer. He's got a tempered sword, so it just takes 4 slashes with that, or if he wants to, can use his silver arrows with 1 silver arrow shot. And looks like he's gonna, there's 3, and there's 4, and just like that, there goes down King Helmasaur. Just under 53 minutes for his 5th crystal. And now he's gonna make a quick mirror out, and gonna take out Eastern Palace as well before making his way up the mountain.
As we see AceZer0 making a beeline back into Eastern Palace to get into the Dark World from his save portal to catch up to defeat Helmasaur. Very good recovery, and thanks to the fact that he got the big key for Desert Palace to get the boots, didn't lose huge amount of time. Maybe it's going to be a very close race still after all.
Yeah, definitely great routing there with that pickup. Being able to keep that portal there, so that's good. Yeah, and you're exactly right with the difference in the boots. Now, granted, the boots don't really make up difference of a lot of the time, but you're absolutely right. It's going to be interesting to see how close this is going to be going into Turtle Rock, because that's where these two paths are going to converge at.
Getting boots early will make a huge difference, but like if it's towards the end of the game, then it's not going to do much. Thankfully, we're getting to the part where we're getting towards the end, so the boots did serve a bit of purpose of saving time for Ace to be able to catch back up after forgetting that key.
Yeah, I think both these runners are going to be evened out here. They're going to be getting to the boss about the same time. Well, no, Fred's going to be just a few seconds behind here, but the different boss fight in between them are just a tad bit different here. So, it'll be interesting to see how far they are in time-wise here once that 6th crystal falls for both these runners. And AceZer0, there's his 17th hit there to King Helmasaur, using his 1 silver arrow at 5440. That is when King Helmasaur goes down, picks up his 3 sets of bombs, and at 5451, that's where he picks up the crystal, making it now going to go up to Turtle Rock. And a very quick fight there on Fred's side, and he picks up at a 5501. So just 10 seconds difference here in between the 2 crystal drops. So very, very close.
I feel like the moment Ace opens up Turtle Rock and goes in, Fred's right behind him, or if not, toe-to-toe.
Yeah, and Fred's already opened up Turtle Rock, so that's going to save a little bit of time here already. Ooh, and AceZer0 gets dead rocked here.
Oh, no. You hate to see it happen, and we all hate that little.
Oh, wow, that was close. I thought he got dead rocked again. Holy cow.
Dead rocks are the worst. We need to ban dead rocks.
I totally agree with you, but man, dead rocks are being extra mean here in this seed.
So yeah, Ace may be slightly behind now because of those dead rocks.
Now Fred making his way here to the Turtle Rock portal here. He's already opened up, so he can just go through it and go straight into Turtle Rock here. And he makes his way here in at 5632. And I can only imagine here with 3 keys for Fred here in Turtle Rock, as well as for AceZer0, not a whole lot of keys going to be looked for here. Might pick one here up at the pokey, which will allow them to possibly skip a couple of keys as well. Skip the chain chomp is always nice when you are able to do that. Don't have to worry about those items, especially when you are at 7 hearts on green mail. 1 chomp from one of those things and you are done. If I remember right, that is the hardest hitting enemy in this game, next to Ganon on green mail. 8 hearts and poof, you are done. And it looks like Fred going to pick up here another key. He's going to steal another key here from this pokey here, and then going to finish out this dungeon.
Yeah, it's when you have 3 keys like this, stealing the key here is the only option in order to finish the rest of the dungeon, especially if there's nothing on the other side of that door over there.
Yeah, one thing chat pointed out as well, AceZer0 actually had all the Turtle Rock keys, so he doesn't need to come and steal this key, so he can just bypass that. So that's going to be, oh no.
Like
AceZer0 taking a death. Oh, an unfortunate death there in Turtle Rock. Oh, that's going to put him back behind even farther now. This late in the game, oh, that might be tough to make up that difference.
That might be the game for him, unless Fred ends up kicking the bucket as well. But from the way this is looking, I don't think that could be the case.
Yeah, hopefully these boots, though, that's still the big difference between these runners is those boots there on AceZer0 side. So hopefully that will pick him up some time here. But unfortunately, though, when you're on green mail and only have 7 hearts, that's one of the downfalls of being on green mail without picking up the armor, because we've actually bypassed a couple of the armors already. I don't remember exactly what they are. I'm going to look them up here real quick, and because I know that we have passed by both of them. There was one there in Swamp Palace there on the left-hand side. And the other one is, oh, we didn't pass the other one. The other one was actually in Waterfall Ferry. So that was our 2 armors. So, oof. Now here at Fred Coughlin taking on Trinex here. 2 fire rod shots, 2 ice rod shots with 5 slashes of the tempered sword. And Trinex gonna go down here. There's 2 heads down. Does a very nice job avoiding that 3rd head. And AceZer0 not really that far behind, just about 3 rooms behind. And there goes down Trinex at the 1 hour mark. So that gives us set crystal number 7. And now it's time for our way into Ganon's Tower. And just like now, AceZer0 making his way into the Trinex fight with this butter sword can actually do a 0 cycle here by getting behind, and that's, unfortunately takes a run there into Trinex, so not going to be able to get this 0 cycle, going to get the 1 cycle, but just 3 slashes with that head for the fire head, the ice head. Just leaves 1 left here. And let's see what the difference is here. Fred making his way to Ganon's Tower. Oh, no! Oh, AceZer0, taking another death here in Turtle Rock into Trinex. Did not take that safety door. Oh, my goodness.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah, that is extremely unfortunate, and that's, unless something huge happens here on Fred's side, you can almost call that the race. Oh my goodness, but don't get your GGs in yet. I mean, this is still far from over. Fred does still have to find a couple of keys to make his way here into in through GT. Did find the 1 key there underneath the skull, and now making his way upstairs into the gauntlet.
Do this because the mini helm swords still have a key for him for the other door, so he should be good. But outside of that, unless there's some oopsie daisy on Fred's side to end up resetting to having to go back through the gauntlet, I don't see any possibility of Zero catching up now, unless there's some deaths in Ganon Tower.
Yeah, there's going to have to take something huge right now. But then again, I'm going to knock on wood because I don't really like to see anything bad happen to these runners. AceZer0 unfortunately just taking that death. Looked like he was going to be caught up. But unfortunately, man, unfortunately in rando, stuff like that just happens. So Fred now making his way up toward the gauntlet here. He's 1 room away. Getting through here through the cannonball room. And now the gauntlet begins here. These guys are going to make this look really easy here in the gauntlet here. Probably the 4 hardest rooms in the entire game. That's Stalfo's trying to keep away there from Fred. But Fred eventually does get him. Now in the 2nd room here. And while AceZer0 now making his way back into the Trinex fight here. Fred needs to be careful here. He's at 4 hearts now. And he's getting bodied pretty good here. Going here into the last room of the gauntlet here. AceZer0 takes down one head. There goes the second head while avoiding that third. And, oh, Fred, I forgot that he had the powder, so he was able to power that anti-fairy. Gives him back his full energy. AceZer0 takes down Trinex. That's going to give him his 7th crystal, while Fred Coughlin takes down Lamos 2 there. Would look like he needed about 5 silver arrows to take him down, but eventually did get him. Now we're on to the 2 most satisfying rooms of the game here. 1 Cane of Samaria is shot here to take down all these Wizrobes. And, ooh, Fred gets bodied off the bridge.
Okay, it happens sometimes. Especially when you don't have boots. So let's see if we get a repeat performance of the first room over here. As we did.
AceZer0 now finally making his way into GT. Nice thing for him, he does have that extra key into Ganon's Tower, so he does not need to go in the basement as Fred did, so he's going to make it back up a little time there. Well, here we are now in the torch room. He's going to pick up his last key by killing these 2 mini Helmosaurs here. And going to probably pick himself up a couple more safeties in this room by picking up a couple fairies, picking up his full magic container. Now he's going to take on Moldorm 2, while Fred now getting up here to the big key door of Ganon's Tower. 2 very quick sword spins, and down goes Moldorm 2. And Fred just leaving bombs there at the validation chest. Definitely not going to be checking that out tonight. I'll say, Hub, I hope you are good at math, because I am not. And we are getting ready to see everybody's favorite math test here in AGA 2.
My goodness, I hate math.
I was good all the way till I got to high school math, and I fell completely apart. So hopefully we got people in chat that are much better at math than us. AceZer0 now taking on the gauntlet here. Fred got 2 hits there, got 1 there.
So we divide that by 3, right?
Oh, I thought it was 4. Yeah, like I say, I was bad at math. And there goes AGA 2. So the math test is over. Fred has passed the math test. So now it is time to make our way to the Big Pig.
And while he is doing that, AceZer0 is trying to make his way to the Landeron 2 fight.
Yeah, unfortunately, just missing there. Just wide right and wide left, not by much there on Lamos. But he gets him down, now making his way up to the Wizard rooms. And now here we are. Here's the Big Pig. What's he going to say to us today? Ooh, what kind of burrito are you going to be? I don't know if it's not a burrito, but right now, Taco Bell sounds kind of good. Don't yell at me, chat. I know it's Taco Bell.
Getting a good spin on Ganon right there. That's a good boost in damage. Skip to phase 2 immediately, and should be able to get to phase 3 in no time. With no.
Yeah, Fred takes a death to Ganon. Oh, but luckily though, no, it didn't have to go very far here. But with 5 hearts though, no safety. The only safety we have is a green potion. So not going to do us any good there. Unless we need it for the torches. So there's phase 1 complete. Now in phase 2, Fred's got to be careful now, down to 1 heart. Oh, gonna be close here. Oh my goodness, using those invisibility frames. Got a few more slashes on that. Man, here we are. I'm sitting on the edge of my seat. I don't know about you.
Right off the hook shot right there.
AceZer0 tried to pick up one of those fairies that he got there in the room before Lamos, and now we are on phase 3, so the hardest part of the fight is now over, but we're still not out of the woods yet because Fred still only have 1 heart, no safeties. There's hit number 1, there's hit number 2 on Ganon. Come on, Gannon, be nice to us. Stop rotating around. There's hit number 3. And there's hit number 4. Okay, I think we're good to go. Oh no, our one shooting the silver arrows. There is 1 hit, while AceZer0 1 room away from everybody's math test once again in Aga 2. Here is arrow 2, 3, and 4. There goes down the big pig. Oh my. So all we got left to do now is just cross probably the most dangerous 1x3 bridge in all of video games. And Fred Coughlin, he crosses the bridge and he wins with an official time of 1 hour, 9 minutes, and 9 seconds.
Excellent way of punching it out.
That was a jet seed. And there, AceZer0 now taking down his Aga 2 fight. Getting ready to take on the big pig as well.
I think while he is taking on the big pig, we should see if Fred is up for an interview once AceZer0 gets finished with his side over here.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get both these runners in here in a minute. And right now, here we go. AceZer0 now taking on his big pig fight here. And he's now here into the second phase. And doing a great job avoiding those bats here. Does only have 3 hearts. Gots to be careful now. We are in phase number 3. And there's hit number 1 with that gold sword. That gold sword making life 100 times easier. All you needed was 6 slashes. There's hit number 2. Come on, Gannon, play nice. There's hit number 3. And there's hit number 4. We are almost done here. And there is our first arrow. Doesn't quite get the potion. There's 2, 3, and there's number 4. Down goes Gannon on AceZer0's side. And just like that, throw all of your GGs into chat for both of these runners. They've done an amazing job here. AceZer0 now makes his way across the 1x3 bridge, and he finishes in a time of 1 hour, 11 minutes, and 12 seconds. Holy cow, that was one heck of a game. And it looks like we got Fred and Synac in the chat, or not in the chat, in our booth here. GG, gentlemen.
Hey. The GG goes to Fred here. Yeah.
I'm still trying to breathe.
Man, what are your guys' thoughts on that race? Holy cow.
Yeah,
Well,
definitely, yeah.
I'm glad that Harapot's a thing, because that could have gotten. So just so you know, like, that let us go into Hera early to grab a sword, because otherwise you would have had to. The boots were mandatory. We were just able to skip them. We thought that was going to sink us.
Well, it looked like there for a while it was going to, because AceZer0 went back for those boots, and he got them probably around the 45-minute mark, I want to say. But that was not really the big difference in this race. The big difference in the race was AceZer0 took 2 unfortunate deaths there in Turtle Rock. He took one about halfway through it, just around the Chain Chomp, or not the Chain Chomp. Yeah, it was right after the Chain Chomp room. And then, unfortunately, he takes another death on Trinex, and that was the big difference in this race.
Yeah, and he probably didn't grab any of the checkpoints, did he?
No, he did not.
Yeah. I did know that they died, but yeah, that's a little rough there. I feel for that.
It's tough. I mean, you get in that situation, again, with the fact that this type of week you can actually see what's going on. If you know you're behind, you start taking those risks. Synac, towards the end there, once, I'd forgotten the mirror and I knew I was behind pretty much there. I was like, he just kept pointing out potential, safeties. I'm like, okay, we can't risk this one right now. Yeah. And then, same thing just turned around there on the other side. Ended up, unfortunately, for them, just because, I mean, they're both incredible on that side of things. And, once you had that death in Turtle Rock, it's like, okay, now you can't take the safety door down at Trinex because that's a 30-second loss potentially. And, at that point, you're doing everything you can to come back. If they're running with the boots, with me with no boots, that probably, that's probably almost a dead even race at that point. So they had to go straight to Trinex there to have the best chance. Ouch.
Yeah, I mean, that wasn't the only really thing. That was probably the biggest ones, because up until you guys were in go mode, when you guys went to pod, AceZer0 actually got into pod first the second time. Unfortunately, he did not have the key needed to get through the basement, and he had actually went through pod, got there, realized he did not have a key, so he ended up noping out, finishing up Eastern Palace, trying to find that last key to finish up pod, while you guys were able to complete pod on that second trip, finish Eastern, and then Turtle Rock, because you were probably about a minute behind when we got to that place right there, into that second entrance into pod.
Yeah, as I knew we had the issue there, just again from the extra dip in there for the mirror, which I wrote down right as Sinak told me. That one's on me. No one can put any blame there on Sinak. That's completely on me. I wrote down big key, then said, oh yeah, I've got a hammer jump in the back, so that way I can avoid using the key, so we'll have enough keys. Oh shoot! Wait, I'm supposed to already have the mirror. Wait, where was I getting that? Son of a monkey.
Next time I'll just scream it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
we have to do that.
Yeah,
or I'll make a song.
Big.
We'll turn it into a song. It'll get stuck in your head. It's like Fred needs to grab the key, or big key chest. Fred needs to grab the big key chest. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, because that was the biggest difference in the early game, is when Fred forgot to pick up the mirror there in the vanilla big key chest there in pod. And we want to welcome into chat right now Waterlow and AceZer0. GG, gentlemen, on this race.
GG's.
Great job, folks.
Yeah. That was quite the race. Thank you for participating and playing. It was a good time.
What kind of curse did SaaS Robot put on our Turtle Rock?
Yeah, that was definitely hard to watch, because it was such a close race when you guys got in Turtle Rock, and unfortunately there at the end, that was the biggest difference in the race, was that second unfortunate death that you took there on Trinex.
To be honest, I was watching on the Rust stream, and I saw 3 TR keys for us, 3 TR keys for the other team, and I was, do we have 4? Yes, we have 4. Maybe they have 4, so we can't say that they will lose time on that pokey. Maybe they did the same play as we did to grab that 4th key. And I completely missed that they didn't have the boots. And for sure, if I saw that boots, I would say to Ace, go to buy a potion and we will be safe. But that's it.
Yeah, and the deaths in there, obviously that's on me. It was like both those deaths were like, they're really easy ways to die. Like the first one with those pokies bouncing around, it's just so unpredictable. I could have played it more safe. And then the second one, that Trinex fight got away from me. It looked like I made contact with that spin, like the double hit, and I guess it didn't. I was really surprised I didn't double hit. I was trying to play it safe on the right side so I didn't get trampled in case I didn't get the slash off. But I was so thrown off by the double hit not landing that I just messed the whole thing up. I panicked.
Well, it's tough. I mean, when you're talking about a seed like this, where you're basically playing low percent, it's the things that we normally take for granted. Even if you're playing NMG, I mean, well, first of all, it's rando. If we're playing Trinex, typically we've got minimum 12, 13 hearts, blue mail minimum at that point. It's just usually a matter of which quick kill you're doing, and going in there, and even with NMG. Even if you'd be on green, you still would have like 11, 12 hearts or something like that. So it's a completely different fight there, and it's tough.
Yeah, I agree.
We had Buttersword too, and that was hoping that would be a little bit of a difference maker, make Trinex easier. Should have made Trinex easier, and it definitely made Cold Stare easier.
Well, you guys were actually leading the race up until the unfortunate pod incident where you forgot a key into pod.
I put a cross on it, so AceZer0 cave is done, but it was not done. It was a cross for yes, we need to go back because we forgot it after a mini moldom, and in fact it was a way like better to have it after, like right before pod, like the last item before go mode, but I totally forgot it. That's
Yeah,
my
because
mistake.
Waterloo told me to get that like as I was leaving Mini Moldorm. It was like, oh, go to AceZer0, and I was already saving quitting. So it's like, oh, I guess we'll get it later. Don't worry. And then we both forgot.
Well, it makes sense. I mean, again, you're going to get boots later. So you could, or even flute. So you can just go over there then.
Yeah, the boots definitely helped out a lot in getting that key to recover the lost time that was for missing that key particularly.
I decided to do the hookshot cave plus ice big plus desert big play. I don't know if it was the right answer in that seed, but we decided to take it.
Honestly, for me, it probably was because my Ganon's Tower would have been a lot scarier without boots.
So ultimately, we're saying here. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was done. You're good.
Okay. So ultimately what happened was we both triple dipped pod, even though it was only a double dip that was needed. Basically, what happened, right?
Pretty much.
Well, so what happened with yours then that caused you guys to triple dip it?
Fred here wrote down all the chests that Sinak told me to check, and oh yeah, that vanilla big key that had the mirror, I kind of quit out of dark maze without grabbing it.
Yeah, that was the early mistake there on Fred's side, was forgetting that mirror, and that gave you guys roughly a minute lead because he had to go back and pick up that chest, and it pretty much stayed that way all the way up until pod.
Yes, and right before that miss of AceZer0 cave, I said to Ace, we're doing a lot better than training. Like, yes, we were doing really good, and the end was trash. But that's it.
So when is game 2 for you guys, for both you guys? This week?
Friday, 7 p.m. I will be the pilot a second time, and Itsuyan will race.
Yep, and it'll be Adirondack Rick piloting, and I will be racing.
All right, so there you go. There is game number 2 between these two teams of the Bomb Squad and We Are Imposters. So that win there on Fred's side brings the Bomb Squad up to 4-3 on the league here with 12 points. Unfortunately, loss there on the We Are Imposters takes you to 2-5, but it's still very, very tight here in the standings. Anybody still has a shot here at the playoffs.
I think we could make the playoff with 50-50, but we will definitely need to do 2-0 in mystery. But yes, that's it. It's not finished until it's finished, I think.
Oh yeah, and I mean I've watched a lot of races so far in the league this season, and it's amazing how tight literally all of these leagues or all these divisions are in. And you can see all that information at ALTTPRleague.com. That has all the information that you need. And right now, if you look here at the standings, I mean, right now you got Pug Trio and Titan Smith of 2019 leading with 15 points. Air 216 and Commando Hypers with 12. And also with the Bomb Squad now has 12. So you are literally a game away from first place. So definitely a tight division. So, and as you guys just mentioned, next week is Mystery Week, but we still have one more game between these two teams before we get there. So, gentlemen, any last words on this seed?
I just want to say congratulations to the two of you for a fantastic race. It was a lot of fun. I hope we get to, it should be a good one to watch back. I'm looking forward to seeing round 2 later this week. It should be a blast. But great job to you guys, and thank you to the Restream team as well for for putting together a entertaining restream as well.
Yeah, thank you, gentlemen. I also want to make sure that I thank the people behind the scenes here. I want to thank our restreamer T Sigma. Want to thank our tracker Kono Tyron. Want to thank my co-com here, Esper Hub. Please make sure you give all of them a follow. Give all 6 runners of these 2 teams a follow. Here on the Bomb Squad, you got Synac, fcoughlin, and Adirondack Rick. And on We Are Imposters, you got AceZer0, Waterlow, and Hitsian. Give all of these runners a follow. They've done an amazing job this league. And I just want to wish all you guys the best of luck. I look forward to seeing such a great ending here to this league. Esper, you got anything good to say here before we close it out?
You took the words right out of my mouth there.
All right, so again, we want to thank everybody for tuning into today's race. On the schedule coming up here, not a whole lot going on here today. Left here today, it looks like we have gone through all the matches here in the Invitational League. I do believe there's one more race in the Open League. But if you go to ALTTPRleague.com, man, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, gonna be a ton of rando. Check out that listing there throughout the week here. So I want to thank everybody for watching. I want to thank everybody for helping backstage. I am Bandman25. Thank you again, Esper Hub. Thank you, Kono Tyron. Thank you, T Sigma, for all of your help in running this race. Please take care of yourself. Take care of your family. Have a great Thanksgiving and be good to each other. Good night, everybody.
Have a good night.